So good morning. We're speaking from the ITSF 2016 conference in Prague, and I'm going to interview Anand Ram, who's the VP of Marketing from Calnex. Good morning, Anand.
Hello.
What are big headlines at this year's ITSF?
The three big headlines we've picked up. The first is the move towards 5G networks. The second is the growing importance of GPS or GNSS, which is the satellite positioning and navigation systems. The third thing, a big headline for us at this event, is that we're seeing a lot more real network deployments of the technologies.
Okay. So what do you see as the big developments and challenges to the move to 5G?
The biggest challenges for the timing and sync community for 5G is that 5G demands better accuracy. Now that's just one aspect of 5G. 5G means lots of things to lots of people. It starts from the actual services or the users themselves, or what 5G could be. Then the radio is changing. The radio interface between the base stations and the devices is going to be changing. And then the network behind it as well is going to be changing. And we're part of that network that's changing. So the relevance to the timing community is that network and the infrastructure now will need to deliver much more accurate synchronization and timing than is being delivered and done today. And that obviously is a challenge, but it's also an opportunity for people to discuss how they're going to build the businesses and deliver solutions to achieve that greater accuracy.
Okay, and what about GPS? Why is it becoming more important to the timing community?
So I guess GPS has always been fundamental to the timing community. It's a timing signal that comes through from the satellites. And telecoms and the timing community has always used GPS. It's growing in importance for two reasons. First, in terms of the concern around the vulnerability of GPS and GNSS. So that's meant that we've got multiple systems now for positioning around the world. So the GPS is being supplemented by other systems, satellite positioning systems around the world. But there's still concern and security about people who are able to disrupt those signals, and anything that relies on those signals, there's a big concern that there'll be problems around those. The other reason it's growing in importance is actually while there is growing concern about the reliance on GPS and GNSS, there's actually a growing reliance on it. And that means that the telecoms network I mentioned having to achieve more and more accuracy. The deployment of more GNSS locked devices in the network means that more devices in the telecoms network are going to be reliant on GPS or GNSS, and that's why it's growing in the timing and synchronization community, and that's why lots of people have been talking about it this week.
Okay, you mentioned real deployments of the technologies. Can you expand on that?
Yes, I think for many years at this conference, people have been talking about concepts, ideas, suggestions, and models. This year, we've had our operators coming to the conference and actually telling us how they've already deployed some of the technologies that we've been talking about for the last 4 or 5 years. That's a great step forward in terms of being able to use and utilize their concepts and ideas and technologies. But it's also presented now new challenges because now it's out there in the network. Obviously, new problems arise, and this community has done a great job of discussing those problems and coming up with solutions to it.
Okay, and finally, Anand, what keeps Calnex coming back to this conference, the ITSF, every year?
Yes, we find it to be, I think for the timing and synchronization community, the premier event. It's the main event for us annually. And the reason for that is it's got a great spectrum of people that come here, from the community of people who make equipment for timing through to the users of timing. There are lots of operators and a growing number of telecoms operators that come to these events, which is very important for companies like Calnex. The event itself, it's growing. It's almost doubled from 2 years ago in terms of attendance, and that keeps us coming back. And I think the main thing is it's a technical forum, And because it's a technical forum, people are very open with ideas and suggestions and discussions. And we get a lot of benefit from that because we're able to improve the products and services that we provide because people are having open discussions about that. And we're also able to influence the thinking in the community, in the timing and synchronization community, because there are the key people in the community here at this event. And that's why we keep coming back.
Okay, well, Anand, thank you very much.
Thank you, Carol.